I'm delighted to welcome our next speaker, Susan Sobbott, who is President of Global Corporate Payments at American Express. Susan is a 20-year veteran of American Express. She ran Open, Amex's small business division in America. She launched more than 20 new card products and doubled profitability. Newsweek has named her as one of 150 women who shake the world. Please join me in welcoming Susan Sobbott.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here. And I want to tell you a very special story. High street shops and businesses all across Britain are preparing for a nationwide celebration. It's going to be huge. And that's because it's supporting something small. So what's the occasion? Small Business Saturday, UK. It's on December 6th. Put it in your diary. It's just 8 weeks away. It's a day to celebrate the independent businesses that employ your neighbors and help boost your local economy. You know who I mean. The local pub that everybody loves, the florist, the tailor, or grocer with that personal touch. The shopkeepers who embrace you like family, the staff who treat you like royalty, the businesses that provide 1 in every 3 jobs here in the UK. Now, this movement is near to my heart. Why? Because it's a living example of the power of purpose. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. How a focus on purpose builds your business. So let me tell you the story of Small Business Saturday. It started in New York City a few years ago on the heels of the financial crisis. I was leading American Express's small business division at the time, and frankly, it was grim. As you may remember, here in Britain, 1 in 7 shops had closed its doors. And in the US, it was just as bad. My own high street was changing before my eyes. Restaurants were closed, storefronts were vacant. Our favorite furniture store that had been open for generations closed forever. We had friends who lost their jobs and neighbors who were very troubled. People were demoralized across the country and within our company, too. Our customers were struggling. They couldn't pay their bills. Our share price took a nosedive. So we turned inward. Like all of you, we had to try to protect our profits. We had our own layoffs, and we really worked hard to cut costs. But through all of this, there was something that kept us going. In fact, it kept me going. It was our mission to help business owners grow their business. So, in spite of our challenges, we were determined to find a way to keep our mission alive. We had a calling, and then we had an idea. Business owners told us that they needed more customers. And we thought, we have great customers. What if we mobilized all of our card members to shop at local businesses? And then we thought, why stop at American Express? Why not get all of America involved, whether or not there are card members? Why not encourage the entire country to give their business to small businesses on the busiest shopping weekend of the year? That's how Small Business Saturday was born. Now, Small Business Saturday is in its infancy here in the UK. It's only in its 2nd year. But we think this year, with government to grassroots support, it's going to be bigger than ever. In the US, 2/3 of all Americans have heard of Small Business Saturday. And I share this story of Small Business Saturday because it taught me a lesson. What I witnessed firsthand was the galvanizing force of purpose in action. Focusing on our customers' needs instead of thinking of only of our own made our people feel great about the work that they were doing. Their creativity flowed. Our time to market was in record pace. Everyone gave it their all, even in that very grim time. And more than that, it galvanized our customers and ultimately the country. It tapped into a wave of energy that took on a force of its own. At a moment when people were feeling powerless, we offered them a small step that they could take, an action, something intentional that could make a positive difference. And everyone clamored to get on board. Local council, mayors in every city, members of Congress, even President Obama. Not to mention consumers who on one day spent $5.7 billion last year at local small businesses. Now, since then, Small Business Saturday has been adopted by many countries and markets around the world. And yes, Small Business Saturday has been great for our company. This focus on purpose built our business. It's just smart business to help our customers and potential customers get stronger. But I can tell you, had we been focused only on our quarterly profits, we never would have seen this opportunity. Now, I'm privileged to lead our global corporate payments business for American Express. Our clients range from mid-sized companies to the largest enterprises around the world. But yet, we and all of you have something in common, whether we work in New York City, London, Beijing, or Bangalore. We all operate in this hyper-competitive, super fast speed environment. Today's customer has more choices than ever, and they're more discerning than at any point in history. Every day, we have to earn the attention of new customers. We have to hang on to the ones that we have, and we have to motivate the people that we rely on to deliver our products and services. So what will distinguish the winners of tomorrow? So of course you'd expect me to say access to capital, advanced technology, low cost structures, broad distribution. And yes, every single one of those things is really important. But what makes a good company great is more than smart, diligent management. It's inspired leadership. And inspired leadership understands the all-encompassing power of purpose. Purpose elevates, purpose ennobles, purpose propels you forward with clear intent. Purpose isn't just a nice to have. Purpose drives profits. And don't just take my word for it. Look at the index of meaningful brands. Havas Media surveys individuals in 23 countries on 700 brands. It turns out that only 20% of those brands genuinely work to improve people's quality of life. Yet, the share price of that select few is double that of its peers. Why are these companies so successful? Purpose. Purpose unleashes two interrelated forces, attraction and alignment. So let's start with attraction. People want to be associated with things that they admire and respect. And when they relate to what your company does, what it's about, not just what you do, but why you do it, it draws them into your orbit. like gravity. Obviously, when customers feel an emotional connection to your brand, and when they buy from you, it's more than a transaction. It's a statement of belief. The power of attraction also matters when you're recruiting talent. Did you know that by 2025, 75% of the world's workforce will be millennials? And one of the top reasons why they say they would stay at a company for a long time is a belief in my company's mission and purpose. 84% of them say that making a positive difference in the world is more important than personal recognition. Now, of course, it isn't just millennials who want to feel that their work has meaning. We all do. Take the John Lewis partnership. As you know, they own John Lewis and Waitrose, two iconic retail brands right here in this market. What's striking is in an age where everybody worships the latest, greatest thing, this company, at 150 years old, is at the top of its game. And the reason for that goes back to 1929, when John Speeden Lewis had a radical idea. And that idea was to make each employee a co-owner of the company. So each employee shares in the benefits and profits. As he saw it, the partnership's ultimate purpose is the happiness of all of its members. And you know better than I, when you shop in these stores, you feel like you're being served by an owner. The staff knows their products. They're eager to serve. They take visible pride in their work. Turnover's low, and that's great for business. In one staff member's words, you belong to the business, but it belongs to you, too. Both John Lewis and Waitrose are reporting record sales, and they're among Britain's favorites for customer service and the best trusted and most admired brands. So that's attraction. The second force that purpose unleashes is alignment. Getting everyone and everything pointed at the same goal. Shared purpose harnesses everyone's energies. It opens paths to new ideas and action and big results. You know, I recently flew Virgin America from New York to Los Angeles. I imagine there are a few road warriors here in the room, and we all know how tough travel can be. But this trip was a pleasure. Every detail was designed to be special, exciting, even fun. The flight attendants looked great. The cabin looked like a nightclub. Even the safety video was so entertaining, I would have watched it twice. The service even made me feel cool. But it was more than service. It was an immersive culture driven by a mission. Everybody was doing their part to make flying good again. And it's paying off. Virgin America is #1 in US customer satisfaction. Okay. So how do you bring your purpose forward and put it at the heart of your business? It really begins with 3 things: people, passion, and perspective. People. Make sure you know whose life it is that you want to impact. Identify who you want to change for the better and how. Passion. Make every member of your team connect to the mission. When people believe that their work has meaning, they just plain care more. Perspective. Consider your business within the context of society. How does what you're doing tap into broader trends and needs? Let me give you some examples of people, passion, and perspective. How many of you know Gandhi's? It's a flip-flop company. It's founded by Rob and Paul Forkin. The Forkin brothers and their family had spent much of their childhood volunteering in South Asia. Their parents, Kevin and Sandra Forkin, were adventurous, warm-hearted people who wanted their children to see the world and to help others along the way. In 2004, they were in a resort in Sri Lanka, and a tsunami slammed the coastline. Kevin and Sandra managed to get their children to safety, but sadly, they lost their lives. It was a terrible loss. And Rob and Paul wanted to keep their parents' spirit alive. So in 2011, they created Gandhi's. It's a business with the aim of funding orphanages in South Asia. They donate their 10% of their profits to help children in India. Their tagline, 2 brothers helping fellow orphans. Already their company is forecast to earn more than £1 million this year. Now, Gandhi's is clearly living out their purpose through a philanthropic goal. But purpose doesn't have to be about charity. It's really about identity, values. Any purpose with a conscience can be great, as long as you go after it with heart and soul. The key is deciding you want to make a difference and acting with intent, whether it's in some small or grand way. You want your business to have a bigger impact than just your bottom line. I heard a story about Ellen Coleman, who's the CEO of DuPont. One of DuPont's products is Kevlar fiber, which is used in protective vests. One day, Ellen was on a factory tour, and she was walking by, and she asked an employee who was making Kevlar to tell her what he was doing. You might expect he could have described the technical aspects of the product. But instead, he said, "We're saving lives." Wow. His sense of purpose was literally bulletproof. He believed passionately that his work had meaning. He had that intrinsic motivation that makes people perform at their best. Purpose creates passion. It's that inner fire that propels people forward with clear intent. So how can you inspire every team member to be passionate about their work? Help them feel connected to the mission by showing them and rewarding them and acknowledging it, that their contributions are making a difference. Talk about your purpose openly and often. Put it at the center of your culture. And invite your team to be a part of it. You'll be amazed at the thoughtful and creative ways that they'll bring your purpose to life. Last but not least, perspective. Step beyond yourself. How does what you do connect to broader concerns? What can you do to make a big impact? Today's global consumers are not shy about expressing their beliefs. A study by Edelman shows that 80% of global consumers want businesses to be just as concerned about societal interests as they are about the interests of business. Another story. Paul Lindley, about a decade ago, was frustrated by the limited number of healthy foods that kids would actually eat. He was very concerned about the rise of childhood obesity here in the UK and, of course, around the world. So he set out to tackle this problem by helping kids love healthy foods, even before they knew what they were eating was healthy. His driving mission inspired his creativity. So he remortgaged his house and he set up shop in his kids' playroom to create Ella's Kitchen. He combined natural organic ingredients in bright squeezable pouches, just right for a child's hand. No one ever sold baby foods before called the red one or the yellow one, but children loved them. And it soon became clear that moms and dads did too. Helping kids eat better and healthier is something that parents everywhere can buy into and buy a lot of. In fact, within 7 years, Ella's Kitchen has earned 19% of the UK market, with exports to 11 countries and revenues over £50 million. And now they've been bought by a huge natural and organic product company, and they have an even bigger platform to realize Paul's mission to improve the health of children around the world. But let me finish with one last story. If you really want to understand the power of purpose, you need to know about Floyd Lee. Floyd spent much of his life working as an Army cook in the US military. He came out of retirement to run an Army mess hall on the front lines of a war zone. This mess hall was called Pegasus. It worked with the same ingredients as every other. Yet, like the mythical Pegasus, it soared above the rest. All the cooks wore white chef hats, and they held themselves to the highest top chef standards, looking for a way to spice up a recipe or add a particular flair to a presentation. Steaks were marinated for days. Fruits were scrutinized for bruises. Not a single grape was placed on a platter unless it looked just right. There were tasseled tablecloths on the tables and posters on the walls. And one soldier who ate there said, "The time you're in here, you forget you're in Iraq." This mess hall was working with the same Army rations as every other. So what made it so unique? It was a higher purpose. Floyd Lee believed he was doing something special. In his words, "I'm not just in charge of food service, I'm in charge of morale." And as a leader, he conveyed his mission to everyone in his kitchen. They didn't see their jobs as just serving food. They saw their mission as nourishing souls. The power of purpose ennobles even the most ordinary tasks. When people believe they're doing something that matters, they are inspired. So our challenge as leaders is to elevate purpose and put it on par with profits, because purpose drives profits. And our job as leaders is to give our colleagues and our customers, whether they be in Beijing or Bangalore, the power to be part of the story. Give them a step they can take to serve organic applesauce, spread a tablecloth, or shop small. Give them a role that touches the spirit and that ignites their passion to make a difference. Your employees crave purpose. Your customers are drawn to it. And as leaders, we can make it happen. Take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. Build your business on purpose. Thank you very much.